The small everyday actions that we do consistently are what create the life we want. So take a look at your habits today. Are they taking you closer to the life you want, or are they holding you back? If they're not aligned with the person you want to be, it's time to start shifting them. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your life transform before your eyes. Chapter 11, Willpower: Harnessing Your Inner Strength. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but when you have it, it can carry you through the toughest days, the hardest challenges, and the most uncertain times. Willpower is that inner strength that keeps you moving forward when everything else wants to hold you back. It's the force that drives you to wake up early even when your bed feels so warm, to push through a workout when your body is begging you to stop, and to make the tough decisions that put you on the path to success, even if they feel uncomfortable in the moment. It's the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. But here's the truth about willpower. It's not something that's just given to a lucky few. Willpower is a skill. It's something you can cultivate, build, and strengthen over time. It's not something you either have or you don't, and just like any other skill, it gets stronger the more you practice it. Now, you might be thinking, if willpower is something you can build, why do I sometimes feel like I don't have enough of it? Why is it so hard to make myself do the things I know I need to do? And I get it, we've all been there. We've all faced days where getting out of bed feels like a battle, where every task seems impossible, and where our willpower feels depleted. It's normal to feel that way, but what you have to realize is that willpower works like a muscle. Just like any muscle in your body, your willpower can get fatigued. If you use it too much in one go, the more you exert it without rest, the weaker it becomes. That's why it's so easy to give in to temptation after a long day of resisting, but also, just like a muscle, your willpower can grow stronger with consistent effort, practice, and rest. So how do you build stronger willpower? The first step is to start small. Don't try to conquer everything at once. Trying to make massive changes all at once can be overwhelming, and when you overwhelm yourself, it's easy to fall back into old habits. Instead, pick one small area of your life where you want to improve and focus on that. Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier to get a head start on the day, or maybe it's committing to drink more water instead of reaching for that extra cup of coffee. The key is to start small and keep it simple. Once you master one area, you can build on it, gradually expanding your willpower muscle. Another important aspect of willpower is setting clear, achievable goals. When you don't have a clear sense of it's easy to lose focus and give in to distractions, but when you have a goal, something to work toward, your willpower becomes more focused, more purposeful. It's easier to stay disciplined when you know exactly what you're working toward, and remember, those goals don't have to be big and overwhelming. Set small bite-sized goals that you can achieve within a short period of time. Once you reach one goal, celebrate it and then move on to the next. This builds momentum and reinforces your willpower, showing you that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. One of the most crucial pieces of willpower is the ability to delay gratification. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting instant results, but the reality is that meaningful, lasting success takes time. Willpower is what allows you to delay that immediate pleasure for a greater, longer-term reward. Think about it like this. Every time you resist a temptation or stay focused on your long-term goal, you are making an investment in your future self. Every time you choose to push through a hard moment instead of giving in, you are strengthening that muscle, preparing yourself for bigger challenges ahead. But willpower is not just about saying no to what's bad. It's also about saying yes to what's good, even when it's not easy. It's the ability to commit to doing the hard work, the uncomfortable work, the work that doesn't always feel good in the moment but pays off in the long run, And that's where self-discipline comes in. Self-discipline is the act of doing what you know needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about taking action not because it's easy or fun, but because it's what's necessary for your growth and success. Willpower fuels self-discipline. It's the inner fire that drives you to take action even when you'd rather take the easy route. One thing that will often trip you up when building willpower is the tendency to get caught in the cycle of perfectionism. You don't need to be perfect in order to build your willpower. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. If you slip up, don't beat yourself up about it. The key is to get back up and keep moving forward. Willpower is about consistency, not perfection. It's about showing up for yourself even on the days when things don't go according to plan. Every day is a new opportunity to try again, and the more you practice that, the stronger your willpower will become. It's also important to be mindful of your environment. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to exercise willpower. If you are constantly surrounded by distractions or temptations, it's going to be much harder to stay on track. One of the most effective ways to improve your willpower is to set up your environment to support your goals. If you are trying to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. If you are trying to be more productive, create a workspace that minimizes distractions. The more you set yourself up for success, the easier it will be to make the right choices even when your willpower is being tested. Rest is another crucial element in building willpower. Just like a muscle needs rest to recover and grow, your willpower needs moments of relaxation to recharge. This doesn't mean you should slack off or avoid working on your goals, but it does mean you need to allow yourself moments of rest and self-care. When you rest and recharge, you are giving yourself the strength you need to continue pushing forward with determination and focus. Ultimately, willpower is about being in control of your choices. It's the ability to act according to your values and long-term goals rather than being swayed by momentary impulses or feelings. It's about staying focused on what's important even when distractions are calling your name. Building willpower is a process, but it's one that pays off in spades. With consistent effort, a clear focus on your goals and the discipline to stay committed, you'll find that your willpower becomes an unstoppable force that propels you toward the life you want to create, and once you realize that you have the power to shape your actions and your future, nothing will seem impossible. Chapter 12, The Power of Consistency, Turning Effort into Habit. Consistency is the invisible force behind every success. It's the quiet engine that keeps everything running day in and day out, even when motivation fades. We've all experienced those moments where we start a project, a goal, or a new habit with all the enthusiasm in the world only to see that excitement dwindle after a few days, weeks, or months. The truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves and it doesn't always stick around when you need it most, but consistency stays. It's what keeps you pushing even when the initial fire has dimmed, and it's what separates those who succeed from those who quit before they get there. When you look at people who seem to have it all together, who achieve incredible things, it's easy to think they're somehow different or special. Maybe they have more talent, more luck, or more time, but if you dig deeper, you'll find that the one thing that stands out more than any natural gift is their consistency, whether it's in their workout routine, their work habits, or their relationships. Consistency is the common thread that runs through every aspect of their lives. They don't rely on motivation alone. They've developed the ability to show up even when they don't feel like it. Consistency is what turns small actions into massive results over time. Think about the act of brushing your teeth. You don't hesitate to do it every day because you understand the consequences of neglecting it. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's essential for your health. Over time, that small daily act compounds into a bigger result. You keep your teeth healthy and you avoid costly dental procedures down the road. The same principle applies to your goals. The small, consistent actions you take every day add up in ways that you might not immediately see, but in the long run, they lead to results far greater than you could have achieved by doing something extraordinary just once in a while. Building consistency is about turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. It's about recognizing that success doesn't come from big occasional bursts of effort. It's about showing up every day even when it feels like nothing is changing. There's a power in showing up, in doing the work, in making progress no matter how small it seems. Day after day, you create the foundation for something bigger, something lasting. One of the biggest challenges to consistency is the belief that progress should always be fast or visible. We live in a world that's obsessed with instant results. With social media and the constant barrage of success stories, it's easy to feel like if you are not seeing immediate progress, you are not doing it right, but that's far from the truth. Real lasting progress takes time and the results of your consistent efforts may not be obvious at first. You won't always see the immediate fruits of your labor, but that doesn't mean the work isn't valuable. Trust that every effort you put in, even when it seems small or insignificant, is building something solid, something real. Another barrier to consistency is perfectionism. A lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that in order to be consistent, they have to be perfect. They wait for the perfect moment to start or they abandon their efforts when things don't go exactly according to plan, but that's not the reality. Consistency is about making steady progress, not achieving perfection. It's about being willing to continue even when things aren't perfect. There's beauty in the messiness of it. It's the willingness to get back up, to keep going, and to adjust when things don't go as expected. The moment you let go of the idea that everything needs to be perfect is the moment you free yourself to move forward with greater ease. One of the most important elements of consistency is accountability. When you commit to something and you know someone else is counting on you, it gives you that extra push to keep going, whether it's a friend, a family member, or even an online community. Having someone who supports your goals and holds you accountable can make all the difference. It's not just about having someone check in on you, it's about having someone who believes in you, who knows that you can do it even when you doubt yourself. Sometimes all it takes is knowing that someone else is rooting for you to push through those moments when you feel like giving up. Another key to maintaining consistency is developing systems that support your goals. It's not just about relying on willpower to get you through the tough days. Willpower is finite, it can only get you so far before it runs out. But when you create systems that make it easier to stay consistent, you remove the need for willpower altogether. This might mean setting up a schedule, creating reminders, or organizing your environment so that staying consistent becomes second nature. If you want to make progress in your health, for example, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you are trying to eat healthier, prep your meals in advance so you don't have to think about it. When hunger strikes, these systems don't require a lot of effort, but they make consistency easier to maintain. One of the best ways to build consistency is by starting small and gradually increasing your efforts. If you try to do everything at once, you are going to overwhelm yourself and that can lead to burnout. Instead, pick one small habit to focus on and stick to it. Once that habit is ingrained and feels automatic, add another one. The idea is to build momentum. The more consistent you are with one thing, the easier it will be to the next thing. Each time you add a new habit to your routine, it becomes a part of your identity. You are no longer just someone trying to be more consistent. You are someone who is consistent, and as you continue to build that consistency, you'll notice that your mindset begins to shift. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, you'll start to see them as opportunities to prove to yourself just how much you are capable of. The more you stay consistent, the more you'll realize that consistency isn't just about doing the work. It's about becoming the person who does the work day in and day out. It becomes part of who you are, and that's when the real transformation happens. The power of consistency isn't just in the actions you take. It's in the mindset that drives those actions. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work when it's hard, when you are tired, and when it feels like nothing is happening. The more you practice consistency, the easier it becomes to push through those moments when you'd rather quit. Over time, those small daily actions compound into massive results. You begin to realize that the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't some big leap or one-time effort. It's in the small choices you make every day. Consistency is the unsung hero of success. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's the reason some people achieve their dreams while others fall short. It's the foundation that holds everything together. So if you want to create lasting change in your life, if you want to build something real and meaningful, start with consistency. Make it your daily practice, build it into your identity, and trust that over time those small consistent actions will lead to results far beyond what you ever imagined. Chapter 13, Embracing Change. Adapting to life's uncertainty. Life is a constant cycle of change, and while that can feel overwhelming at times, it is also the one thing that can push us forward if we learn how to embrace it. Change isn't something we can control, but how we respond to it can make all the difference. The sooner we accept that change is inevitable, the better we will be at navigating through life's twists and turns. We all face moments when everything feels uncertain. When things don't go the way we expect, or when our plans are interrupted, it's easy to feel like we've lost control, but the reality is embracing change is often the key to moving forward. It's important to understand that change doesn't always have to be this big dramatic event. In fact, most of the time it's the small everyday changes that have the biggest impact. These are the changes that happen within us in the way we think, react, or adapt to situations. They're the shifts that happen in our mindset when we stop resisting the unknown and start seeing it as an opportunity for growth. The problem is a lot of people are afraid of change. They're afraid of what they don't know, what they can't control, and what's outside their comfort zone. But what most people fail to realize is that the very thing they fear most is often the thing they need most in order to grow. Think about it. When you are stuck in the same routine, in the same job, or in the same environment, things may feel comfortable, but they also feel stagnant. The same patterns repeat themselves and nothing changes. Nothing grows, but when you embrace change, when you lean into the unknown, that's when new opportunities start to open up. You start meeting new people, learning new skills, and seeing life from a completely different perspective. You realize that the comfort zone you've been holding onto is nothing more than a cage that keeps you from the life you could be living. Of course, that doesn't mean change is easy. There are going to be times when it's uncomfortable, scary, or painful. There will be moments when you question everything, when you wonder if you made the right choice, but those are the moments that matter most. Those are the moments when you grow. It's in the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the struggle that you find your true strength. Change forces you to adapt, to rethink your approach, and to push yourself beyond your limits, and it's only by pushing past those limits that you'll ever discover what you are truly capable of. The key to embracing change lies in developing a flexible mindset. It's about being willing to accept that things will not always go according to plan, and that's okay. When you develop flexibility, you begin to see challenges as opportunities. Instead of resisting the things that don't go your way, you learn to adapt to them, find new solutions, and grow stronger because of them. It's about being able to roll with the punches, to bend without breaking, and to trust that whatever happens, you'll be okay. This doesn't mean you should be passive or complacent in the face of change. You don't have to wait for things happen to you. Embracing change means taking proactive steps to shape the direction of your life. Even when the future feels uncertain, it means being open to new ideas, new possibilities, and new ways of thinking. Change often comes with a sense of discomfort, but that's what makes it so powerful. The discomfort is a sign that you are growing, that you are moving beyond your old limits, and that you are stepping into a new version of yourself. One of the biggest obstacles to embracing change is the fear of failure. People often resist change because they're afraid they'll make mistakes or that they won't succeed in whatever they're trying to do, but the reality is failure is a part of life. It's not something to fear but something to embrace. Every successful person has failed at some point. What sets them apart is that they didn't let failure stop them. They learned from it, adjusted their approach, and kept moving forward. If you are afraid of failure, you'll never take the risks necessary to grow, but if you embrace failure as a learning experience, it becomes a tool that helps you improve and evolve. It's also important to recognize that change is a process, not an event. A lot of people expect instant results, but real lasting change takes time. You might not see the immediate effects of your efforts, but that doesn't mean they're not happening. The key is to stay committed even when the results aren't obvious. Trust that the work you are doing today is building the foundation for tomorrow's success. It might feel like you are not making progress, but in reality every step you take is bringing you closer to where you want to be. One of the best ways to embrace change is to focus on what you can control. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the things that are outside of your control, especially when life feels unpredictable, but the truth is there's only so much you can control. What you can control is how you respond. When change happens, you get to choose how you react. You can choose to see it as a setback or an opportunity. You can choose to resist it or embrace it. The power lies in your ability to decide how you'll respond to the things that are beyond your control. The more you focus on the things you can control, the more empowered you'll feel and the better you'll be at navigating through the changes that life throws at you. When you embrace change, you also embrace growth. Change forces you to step out of your comfort zone and take risks, and with every risk you take, you learn something new about yourself. You discover strengths you didn't know you had, and you develop a deeper understanding of what you want from life. Growth doesn't happen when you stay in the same place. It happens when you push yourself to do something new, to take that leap of faith and to face the unknown with courage and determination. It's not always easy to embrace change, but it's always worth it. The more you practice adapting to change, the more comfortable you'll become. With uncertainty, you'll learn to trust yourself and your ability to navigate through life's ups and downs. Embracing change isn't about knowing exactly what's coming next. It's about being open to whatever comes and trusting that no matter what, you have the ability to handle it. When you shift your mindset to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat, you'll find that life becomes much more exciting and fulfilling, and the best part, you'll realize that you are always capable of handling whatever came your way. Chapter 14, Setting Boundaries, Protecting Your Mental Space in Life. There's a lot to be said about personal space, not the physical space we live in, but the mental and emotional space we create for ourselves. The boundaries we set define who we are and help protect our well-being. Without them, life can become a constant struggle where you are pulled in every direction and lose sight of your own needs. Setting boundaries isn't just about keeping people at a distance. It's about preserving your peace, protecting your energy, and maintaining the clarity you need to focus on what matters most. When we talk about boundaries, It's easy to think of them as walls, something rigid that keeps people out, but in reality, healthy boundaries are more like a gate. You decide when to open it, when to close it, and who gets to pass through. It's not about shutting others out completely, but about knowing where to draw the line to protect yourself. It's about being clear with others about what you will and will not tolerate, and being firm about your limits. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish or rude. It's about respecting yourself enough to know when you need to say no, when to step back and when to take a break. One of the toughest parts about setting boundaries is the fear of disappointing others. We've all been there, caught in the middle of a situation where we feel like we have to say yes even when we know it's not good for us. We worry about letting someone down, about seeming rude or unhelpful, and we often end up sacrificing our own well-being for the sake of others. But the truth is, when you constantly say yes to everyone else and neglect your own needs, you are doing more harm than good, both to yourself and to the people around you. When you are running on empty, you can't show up as your best self for anyone, including yourself. Setting boundaries also means learning to say no. This is a skill that many of us struggle with because we don't want to disappoint anyone or feel like we're missing out, but the more you practice saying no, the more you realize that it's not the end of the world. In fact, saying no is often the best thing you can do for yourself. It allows you to conserve your energy, focus on what's important, and keep your mental and emotional health intact. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your focus and you end up giving less of yourself to the things that really matter. Healthy boundaries aren't just about saying no to others. They're also about saying yes to yourself. They're about recognizing your own needs and making space for what brings you peace and fulfillment. Sometimes this means saying no to the things that drain you, even if they're things you once enjoyed. Other times it means saying no to the demands of others, even when they're well-meaning. Setting boundaries helps you focus on your own priorities and ensures you're spending your time and energy on things that align with your values and goals. It's also essential to recognize that boundaries are not static. They evolve as you grow and change. What was once acceptable might no longer be, and that's okay. As you become more self-aware, you'll find yourself adjusting your boundaries to better suit your needs. This flexibility is important because it allows you to continue evolving without losing sight of what matters. When your boundaries are in line with your true values, you can maintain a sense of control over your life, even in the midst of chaos. Another important aspect of boundaries is that they teach others how to treat you. When you set clear, firm boundaries, you are showing others that you respect yourself and expect the same respect. In return, people will often treat you the way you allow them to, and if you constantly let people walk all over you, that's what they'll do. But when you stand your ground and make it clear that you won't tolerate mistreatment, you create an environment where respect and mutual understanding can thrive. Boundaries teach others how to interact with you in a way that honors your space, your time, and your energy. It's also worth noting that setting boundaries isn't just about the people around you. It's also about setting boundaries with yourself. Many of us have unhealthy habits, patterns of thinking, or behaviors that we need to address. These internal boundaries are just as important as external ones. When you set boundaries with yourself, you are taking control of your actions and ensuring that your choices align with your goals. This means recognizing when you are falling into patterns of procrastination, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, and making a conscious decision to stop. Setting boundaries with yourself is about knowing when to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your actions. The process of setting boundaries is a form of self-care. It's a way to protect your mental, emotional, and physical health by taking the time to prioritize yourself. In a world where people are constantly demanding your attention, it's easy to forget about your own needs, but without boundaries, you risk burning out, feeling overwhelmed and losing sight of what truly matters. Setting boundaries is about taking the time to recharge, to reflect, and to focus on your own well-being so that you can show up as the best version of yourself. For others in relationships, boundaries are essential for creating healthy, respectful dynamics, whether it's with family, friends, or a significant other. Clear boundaries help prevent misunderstandings and resentment. When both parties understand each other's limits and expectations, it creates a sense of trust and mutual respect. Healthy boundaries allow for space and freedom within relationships, and they ensure that both people feel valued and heard. One of the biggest challenges with boundaries is enforcing them. It's one thing to set boundaries, but it's another thing to maintain them, especially when someone tests them. The key is consistency. When you set a boundary, you need to stick to it even when it's uncomfortable. This might mean repeating your limits when they're pushed, or it might mean standing firm in your decision even if it's met with resistance. The more consistent you are with enforcing your boundaries, the more others will respect them. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially if you've spent a lot of time ignoring your needs or putting others first, but the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It's all about developing the confidence to prioritize yourself and understanding that your needs are just as important as anyone else's. Setting boundaries is a powerful tool for creating balance in your life, for protecting your energy and for ensuring that you can live in alignment with your true values. It's a skill that will serve you well in every area of your life, helping you to create the space you need to thrive. Chapter 15, Gratitude: Shifting Your Focus to Abundance. It's easy to get caught up in what's not going right, focusing on the problems and challenges you face in those moments. It's common to feel stuck, overwhelmed, and disconnected from the things that truly matter, but when you shift your focus to gratitude, even for the smallest things, everything changes. Gratitude has the power to change your mindset, shift your energy, and open up your life to more abundance, peace, and fulfillment. When you practice gratitude, you start to notice the good in your life instead of always searching for what's wrong. There's a tendency, especially in today's fast-paced, results-driven world, to focus on what you don't have, what you are lacking, and what you need to fix, but gratitude forces you to take a step back and appreciate what you already have. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing the good amidst the struggle and finding peace in the present moment. The first step in practicing gratitude is becoming aware of what you already have. It might seem like a simple concept, but it's easy to overlook the many blessings in our lives when we're focused on what's missing. Take a moment to think about the things you often take for granted: the ability to see the world around you, the people in your life who love and support you, the roof over your head, the food you eat, and the simple pleasures of life. Even the fact that you woke up today is something to be grateful for. When you start to shift your focus to these things, you begin to realize how much abundance already exists in your life. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to reframe your perspective. When life feels hard or overwhelming, gratitude helps you see it through a different lens. Instead of focusing on the difficulties, you can start to focus on the lessons, the growth, and the opportunities that arise from those challenges. When you choose gratitude, you stop seeing problems as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones towards something greater. You begin to understand that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and every setback is a set for a comeback. Gratitude also plays a huge role in improving your relationships. When you express gratitude for the people in your life, you create a positive, loving energy that strengthens those bonds. People want to feel appreciated, seen, and valued, and when you take the time to express gratitude for them, it fosters trust, connection, and understanding, whether it's a simple thank you, a thoughtful gesture, or just taking a moment to acknowledge their presence in your life. Gratitude deepens the connection you share with others, and when you are surrounded by positive, loving energy, it makes your life richer and more fulfilling. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, constantly striving for the next goal, the next achievement, the next thing, but gratitude teaches you to slow down and appreciate the journey. It reminds you that life isn't just about the destination. It's about the moments along the way. When you practice gratitude, you start to notice the beauty in the small things. You notice the way the sun feels on your skin, the sound of birds singing in the morning, the laughter of friends and family, and the simple moments that make life worth living. These small moments often go unnoticed, but they are the building blocks of a happy, fulfilled life. Gratitude also has a profound impact on your mental and physical well-being. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can reduce stress, improve mood, and even boost your immune system. When you focus on what you are thankful for, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. This shift in perspective has a ripple effect influencing every area of your life. Instead of feeling depleted, anxious, or overwhelmed, you begin to feel energized, calm and optimistic. Your body responds to this shift and you start to feel healthier, more balanced, and more at peace. Another benefit of gratitude is its ability to improve your resilience. Life isn't always easy and it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go according to plan, but when you practice gratitude, you build a mental and emotional muscle that helps you bounce back from setbacks more easily. Instead of dwelling on what's going wrong, you focus on what's going right, and this shift in focus helps you maintain a positive attitude even in difficult times. Gratitude keeps you grounded, reminding you that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter how challenging life may seem. It's also important to note that gratitude doesn't have to be limited to just the big things in life. While it's easy to be thankful for major milestones like a promotion, a new home, or a significant achievement, it's equally important to express gratitude for the small everyday moments that make life special. Gratitude is about recognizing the ordinary as extraordinary. It's about being thankful for the things that often go unnoticed, like a good conversation with a friend, a warm cup of coffee in the morning, or the quiet moments of solitude that allow you to recharge. These small moments add up and contribute to your overall sense of fulfillment and happiness. One of the most powerful ways to practice gratitude is through journaling. Writing down what you are grateful for each day helps you focus on the positive and makes it easier to reflect on your blessings. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just jot down a few things that made you feel thankful that day. It might be something big like a promotion at work or something small like the smile of a stranger. The act of writing it down solidifies the positive energy and makes it easier to access in the future when you need a reminder of what's good in your life. Gratitude also helps you let go of the need for external validation. In a world where we are constantly seeking approval, likes and recognition, gratitude allows you to find satisfaction and fulfillment from within. When you practice gratitude, you realize that you don't need anyone else to validate your worth. You can find joy and peace in the simple act of appreciating what you already have. This inner sense of fulfillment is far more powerful than any external source of validation, and it allows you to live with a sense of contentment and ease. There's a common misconception that gratitude is only for times of abundance and success, but the reality is that gratitude is most powerful when things are tough. In the midst of challenges, it's easy to feel like nothing is going your way, but if you can take a moment to focus on what you are still grateful for, it can shift your entire experience. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain or make the difficulties go away, but it helps you navigate them with a sense of perspective and strength. At its core, gratitude is about finding peace in the present moment. It's about being content with what you have right now instead of constantly seeking something more. When you learn to embrace gratitude, you unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It allows you to live in the moment, to appreciate what's already in your life, and to trust that the future will unfold in its own time. Gratitude has the power to transform your life, bringing you peace, joy, and a sense of abundance that flows from within. It's a practice that can elevate every aspect of your existence, from your relationships to your mental health, to your overall well-being. Chapter 16, Mental Toughness. Building the strength to endure. Sometimes in life we find ourselves stuck going through the motions and feeling like there's no way out. It's almost like we've hit a wall, and no matter how hard we try, nothing seems to change. We get caught up in routines, habits, and patterns that don't serve us, and it can feel overwhelming, like we are never going to break free, but the truth is change is always possible.